ayato.
Eriwoya.
Ayabo ayato.
Eriwoya.
Ayabo ayato. Ayaje ayamu.
And Cabo, everyone.
Cabo.
Welcome at Cabo and Cabo. Welcome. Hope everyone's doing beautiful today. Today's Ifa sermon is on the topic of trust building in Ifa families and discussing how we will build trust. We will be following with an after class that focuses on what a family is. And we'll be going into family definitions. We cannot cover it all, but we're going to cover a lot. It's going to be very interesting. So welcome you all. It's beautiful to see you. Let's start off with our morning prayers. Shay.
Moikao Tun, this is my right shoulder. Moikao Si, this is my left shoulder. Oriobu, Oroaka, health, longevity, and health. Abaru, Aboye, Abosheshe. Ijiobe, Ijiobe. Ololo Omi, cool piece of water, 6 tank of water. The roll of the boat that takes the gift from heaven to earth. And the path of the boat that takes the gift from earth to heaven. It's very demanding. If we fast catch the Rumila, we're going to take a Lomi to the owner of cool piece of water. This is right. Ifa says it is an abomination. It's also a taboo in Indonesia. Ifa, the Rigi Allah will never allow Olomi Tutu to have a true death. Olomi Tutu and death have entered into a covenant. Ha. Olomi Tutu, may this water bring freshness. Ile Tutu, may bring freshness to our homes or wherever or we reside. Ate Tutu, may bring freshness to our spirits and those are the spirits that protect us. Tutu Aroye, may to be cool and not angry. Iba sea cámara, iba sea loro mare, iba sea ori, iba sea yami, iba sea babami, iba sea numere, iba sea di orisha zeki o dara la di aguna la guede, o tosti o limanga, ile the healer who is in fresh water, iba sea o balua ye, the owner of the perfect diseases, iba sea orisha oko, the elder in the land of Irawo, iba sea o sign. He who runs faster on one leg than most do on 2 legs. Iba shake the Agayutola. Iba shake the Ire, she will come to hair with a hoe. Iba shake to Chamboka, the Sile Chambo. Iba shake to Obatala, Ayaguna, Obagadi, the Orisha Nam of the Dua. Iba shake to the Ibedi, the miracle workers, the big prosperity. Iba shake the Yewa. Iba shake the Oba. Iba shake the Okay, the hill. Iba shake the Ajay, the owner of money. Iba shake to Osun, stand up right at firm. Iba shake to Orumila, Edu, Aferefeyo, Agonyegu. He who witnessed creation, destiny, and setting commands of Lord Maya. Iba shake to Osun Yemu. He who brings the good here and shows us all the sweetness and beauty there in this world. Iba shake to Oya, Yanta, mother of 9 feet of change and transition, the owner of the wind. Iba shake to Egungu. Iba shake to Oro, the ancestors. Iba shake to Egbe. Busu, Iba shake to the Iyami mothers of the night. Iba shake to the Mayasha, Tio Kuti Awoyo, the mother of the nurture of the warrior, Tio owns all the fishes. Iba shake to Oloku, the owner of all prosperity and fortune, and the holder of stability. Iba shake to our Luo, those who officiated our ceremonies. Iba shake to our Ayubona, those who supported and assisted us during our ceremonies. Iba shake to our Orisa, those who brought Orisha to our home and began to teach us about Orisha. Iba shake to our Baba Ifas, Beyond Ifas, those who teach us about tradition Ifa and help us reach our full potential in our destiny. Iba shake to Araba Niki de Ife, Iba shake to Lua Ye, Iba shake to Araba Ye, Iba shake to Akeda Ye, Iba shake to Akoda Ye, Iba shake to Alimona Ye, Iba shake to Olorisha Ye, Iba shake to Babalawa Ye, Iba shake to Yanifa Ye, Iba shake to all of our friends, Iba shake to all of our families, Iba shake to all of our teachers, Iba shake to all of our ancestors, those from motherland, those from my father, those who know, those who don't know. Ashe, repeat after me. Idiobe. Alawibo. Alawiba. He who hears people please. And accepts the please. pleas.
accepts
He who hears people's pleas
He who hears people's
and
pleas
approves of the pleas.
and approves of the pleas.
He who talks to the people
He who talks to the people
and ensures that the topic completely absorbed.
and ensures the topic completely absorbed.
He who hears people's pleas
He who hears people's
and
pleas
accepts the pleas
and accepts their
in
pleas
the name of the Father.
in the name of God.
He who hears people's pleas
He who hears people's pleas
and approves of the pleas
and approves of their
in
pleas
the name of Yeshua Dada.
in the name of Yeshua.
He who talks to the people
He who talks to the
and
people
ensures that the topic is completely absorbed
and ensures that the topic completely absorbed.
in the name of Orisha Allah.
In the name of Orisha Allah.
Orisha Allah.
Orisha Allah.
You are the one who molds human beings.
You are the one who molds human
The
beings.
one who molds one
The one who molds
can
one.
never forget the one who molds one can never fail to impress one. Thank you, Baba.
The one who molds one can never fail to impress one.
The striped frog
The striped
is
frog
the one who comes summons rainfall.
is the one who summons
The
rainfall.
bullfrog
The bullfrog
is the one who summons downpour.
is the one who summons downpour.
It's whenever the Akedu palm tree
It is whenever it came from the country.
tells the earth
Tells the earth.
what the earth accepts.
What the earth accepts.
Whenever the big rat tells the earth
Whenever the big rat tells the
it's
earth.
what the earth accepts.
It's what the earth accepts.
All what I tell you, Father.
All that I tell you, Father.
Please accept them
Please accept them
and approve them.
and approve them.
Agunda warring.
Buddha warring.
The ocean is filled to the brim.
The ocean is filled to the brim.
The lagoon is filled to capacity.
The lagoon is filled to capacity.
Alasan is going to Asan.
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 The world top of the rock.
The wall is top of the rock.
The elders thought over the matter
The elders thought over the matter
and realized it is no longer favorable.
and realized it is no longer
They
favorable.
grew their mustaches
They drew their mustaches
to cover their faces
to cover their
and
faces,
spread their beards
spread their beards
firmly over their chest.
firmly over their chest.
This is the false declaration
This was the God's declaration
to Isheshe,
to tradition,
traditionalism,
traditionalism,
to every head of the Oroko
and every head of the Oroco
of Ileife.
Ileife.
What is one Isheshe?
What is one Isheshe?
Olorumal is one Isheshe.
Olodumare is one Isheshe.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
Once the Ori is one Isheshe.
What you need is one Isheshe.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
One's brother, one's father was Isheshe.
One mother and one father is one Isheshe.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
The male and female genital organs was Isheshe.
The male and female genital organs is one Isheshe.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
These letters are P Isheshe.
Please let the P Isheshe.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
Isheshe is the father of all the Tutu.
Isheshe is the father of all the Tutu.
It is Isheshe without the P,
It is Isheshe without the P,
before Fiji and Orisha.
before Fiji and Orisha.
Atura Irete.
Osuri
To
Rete.
show gratitude upon gratitude,
So gratitude upon
is
gratitude
the award of all gratitude.
is the award of all
To
gratitude.
display benevolence upon benevolence
To display benevolence upon
is
benevolence
the award of all benevolence.
is the award of all benevolence.
Whoever does not show gratitude
Whoever does not show
for
gratitude
today's benevolence
for today's benevolence
will not receive
will not receive
today's gratuity.
today's gratuity.
This is the false declaration
This was God's
to
declaration
the 401 illuminate.
to the 401 illuminate.
Born to marry Oakwood.
Going to marry Oakwood.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
The daughter of Orisha Bawuji.
The daughter of Lisa Bawuji.
Obatala.
Obatala.
They also declared his name
They also declared his
to
name
Illumina.
to Aruna.
We're going to marry Oakwood.
We're going to marry Oakwood.
The daughter of Orisha Bawuji.
The daughter of Lisa Bawuji.
I'm grateful.
I am grateful.
I received my gratuity.
I received my
I'm
gratuity.
grateful for yesterday's favors.
I am grateful for yesterday's
I'm
favor.
sure to receive today's gratuity.
I'm sure to receive today's gratuity.
Otura Irete.
Osuri Rete.
I'm very grateful.
I am very grateful.
Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbòòrè, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbòòrè, a dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gbòòrè tán níbọ̀.
Olódùmarè, àwa dúpẹ́, àwa gbòòrè. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa gbòòrè. A dúpẹ́ àná o, a ó gbòòrè
demonstrate our gratitude. We come to receive our blessings. We come to demonstrate our gratitude. We come to receive our blessings. We come to demonstrate our gratitude all for yesterday's favor. We are sure to receive today's gratuity from God, our heads, the primordial ancestors, and the deified ancestors. Ashe. Okay, Eroso ni tutu. Pounded yam without soup. Can be difficult to consume. This is the five cast. Tutu.
The child about to be reduced.
What's the child? Appeasement. This is the five declarations to tutu.
This will be five declarations to
The
the
child
child
of Aboriginal.
about
He whose attitude was not acceptable.
He whose attitude was not
He was
acceptable.
full of bad character.
He who was full of bad
He
character.
whose attitude had prevented him from coming into his father's domain.
He whose attitude has prevented him from coming into his father's
Now we
domain.
have come to solicit on behalf of Jesus.
Now we have come to listen on
We
behalf
have
of
come to beg on behalf of Jesus.
We have come to beg on behalf of Jesus.
Father, please be patient and overlook this provocation.
Father, please be patient and overlook this provocation.
Let's come to beg on behalf of Jesus.
We have come to beg on behalf of Jesus.
Orumila responded that those of you who come to solicit on behalf of Jesus,
That those of you who come to listen on behalf of Jesus.
that those of you who come to beg on behalf of Jesus,
That those of you who come to beg on behalf of Jesus.
how many children does your father have
How many children does your father have?
that he will cast one out?
That he will cast one out.
Those who beg on behalf of Jesus.
Those who beg on behalf of Jesus.
I said, please come and see us for everything that we do. Please help us, Ifa, to receive today's message and do the things we need to fulfill this message today. I said,
Okumeji.
The king that holds human beings.
The king that holds human destiny.
The king that holds human destiny.
The king that supports and assists human beings.
The king that supports and assists human
The
beings.
king that molds human character.
The king that molds human character.
The king that molds human beings is name given to Orisanda.
The king that molds human character is named Allah.
The king that molds human character is name given to Orunila.
The king that molds human character is named Allah.
The king that supports and assists human beings is name given to one Lori.
The king that supports and assists human beings is named glory.
The king that molds human character is name given to Orunamare.
The king that molds human character is named Allah.
Orango Meji.
Orango Meji.
I call upon you by your formula which is known as Epaoju.
I call upon you by your word that was known as Epaoju.
You are the one who help an organize one's life for one's life to be fruitful.
You are the one who helped organize one's life for one's life to be fruitful.
You are the one who help an organize one's life for one's life to be rewarding.
You are the one who helped organize one's life for one's life to be rewarded.
Come and help me to organize my life.
Come and help me to organize my life.
For to bless as well.
For to be blessed with wealth.
For to bless with children.
For to be blessed with children.
For to bless with all the good things of life.
For to be blessed with all the good things of life.
It is impossible to see the depth of the sea.
It is impossible to see the depth of the sea.
All what I'm doing.
All that I'm doing.
Don't let human beings see evil in me.
Do not let human beings see evil in me.
It is impossible to see the depth of a river.
It is impossible to see the depth of the river.
Do not let human beings dig up evil in me.
Do not let human beings dig up evil in me.
Orango Meji.
Orango
I
Meji.
call upon you by your formula which is known as Epaoju.
I call upon you by your formula which is known as Epaoju.
Please let my matter be fruitful and rewarding in my life forever and ever.
Please let my matter be fruitful and rewarding in my life forever and ever.
Bimo duro, Timo sure, Bimo bere, Bimo sure, Bimo kunle, Bimo sure, Bimo joko, Timo sure, Ire Timo suori tibo, Bimo duro, Bimo sure, Bimo bere, Bimo sure, Bimo kune, Bimo sure, Bimo doko, Bimo sure, Ire Timo suori tibo. If we stand up and pray, if we bend down and pray, if we kneel down and pray, if we sit down and pray, our Oris will hear all our prayers. Please, here and at home, hold on to your Oris. Orieni laureni o o mori, orieni, laureni. Orieni, laureni, orieni, laureni. Orilo, orieni, laureni. One's Odious, one's good luck charm to all success. One's Odious, one's good luck charm to all success. When we wake up in the morning, we hold on to our heads. One's Odi is one's good luck to all success.
Okay, Cabo, everyone. Welcome again. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Today's sermon is on building trust in families the Ifa way. It's going to be very interesting. We'll talk about trust and how important trust is in any Ifa setup. It's true in the whole world, but we're going to focus on what Ifa says about it for our temple. And then from there, going into our relationship, we'll be going into family structure and this trust. Trust is really like the cement of any grouping of people. Trust is it. So we'll talk about that. We also have an after class that deals with family structure. We're going to talk about Ifa in contrasting with Western family structures and look at the disadvantages and obstacles to both. It's very interesting. So let's take a 5-minute break. Do all the things we got to do. Meet and greet. Make sure you come out of here knowing some new people's names. Okay, maybe get a few phone numbers. I don't know. And we'll come back. I say.
Good morning.
Networking. Y'all.
I can't get up.
Okay.
You were sleeping, that's why.
Hello, come say hi.
Meet and greet. Yeah, it's definitely hot. Could you pick that up for me now?
Do you want me to lower the?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Here, we'll turn that one off and then we'll turn this one off.
Thank you.
You made it today, man.
I turned it off. I didn't take
Oops. So, for these announcements, I can't really think straight up there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you get a little nap? You get a little nap in?
No, Jack, keep
Jack, please. I like it. Got a whole bunch of goodies.
I know, right? We're gonna be. Oh, these are the good stuff.
It's a feast.
Oh, you got the good stuff. Look at Jack, this good stuff.
At Long Beach.
Wait, I haven't tried this. I haven't tried this banana. And then we got the animal crackers.
Akishan, you want to say?
Open this for me, honey.
Sure. What is it? Is it not working?
Oh, it's just that it's about to run out. Yeah, we got to switch up.
No, leave it there.
Did you bring in? Oh, there you are.
Guys, leave it there so you can share with everyone.
Yeah, I know, I wasn't here. This is Ade Tutu coordinates.
Does anyone have any? Do you have something to recite here? Hi, man. Do you have anything to recite? You got anything to bring?
Oh, to recite today?
Last or 2 weeks ago.
We all got that.
First section should be every single year. You gonna do one ESC?
I'm listening today. I didn't have any, nothing came up. I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't know if you was gonna get into like simple or
yeah. Yeah, me too.
yeah. You know he got it covered.
Yeah, he got it covered. It's a long sermon today.
Yep, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. That's good. And if you can put it back for the class, it's 24. Okay. Make sure they're on the 10, so they can
Oh no, go,
Now, Baba, how do you play this one?
basically, that's like a iroke, except you go like this, you're walking around like this with it.
Okay. Like that.
So just do like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
My arm is so
Well, she doesn't know the why, you gotta explain it to her.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you did. We did 140 burpees and we did 100 push-ups
You guys gonna be strong.
and then 300 squats.
300?
Yeah, and then after that we broke like 5 more.
Ready, when you are.
Hi, good morning, I'm ready. Eddie Woya.
Ayagbo, ayato,
Eddie Woya.
ayagbo, ayato,
Eddie Woya.
ayagbo, ayato, ayaje, ayamu, and it's Musbundi boy.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Kyle, everybody, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for the joy and love of birthday. I guess like there's 2 birthdays there's 3 really. But being born from your birth mother, what a blessing it is that she decided to have us. You know? So I think that's a very important message to going along. You know, if it wasn't for our mothers to follow through, then we wouldn't be here. So I think that part of this trust stems from our mothers, making sure we have good relationships with our mothers. Some of us may not have the best relationships, but let's try to make sure that we reach out to our moms as well as our dads. You know, there's a difference between a dad and a father, right? So that's the same thing with that. Let's make sure that we give thanks to our fathers too, that helped us in our journey to the world and helped us be here today with all this knowledge. So today on this topic, just repeat after me and I'll talk about it a little bit. It's from my Odu. The Itarogun is Ategbe. This next 17 days, so it should be really interesting. But, you know, for you guys, I'm living it already. For you guys. So repeat after me. Ategbe.
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 The straight pathway I take.
The straight pathway I take.
This was Ifa's declaration to Orumila.
This is Ifa's declaration to Orumila.
When he was going to the house of Olokun.
When he was going to the house of Olokun.
To do spiritual work.
To do spiritual work.
The day that Olokun Tenyade.
The day that Olokun Tenyade
was to give out his daughter.
Was to give out his daughter
as wife.
As his wife.
Orumila.
Orumila.
The awo of Olokun.
The awo of Olokun.
Kasifa for Olokun.
Kasifa for Olokun.
I'll finish this other part in a second. Let's just talk about the story before I go to this last part. So, you know, a lot of us understand the importance of divination before we do things that are very important to us. Especially things that we can be indecisive with. It's important to really have focus on what we're trying to do. And the day that Olokun was going to go to, the day that Orumila was going to go to Olokun Sanyade's house, he cast Ifa. And what happened was, the Babalao, the straight pathway I take, that's the Babalao's name. He said to Orumila, Orumila, you need to do it both. And, you know, there's no Odu that says Orumila did not comply. I want to make sure that you understand that. There's none. I looked.
Okay.
I looked. But there's none that says he doesn't comply. He complied. Now, I'm not, you know, we talk about a lot about the Awo's name who divinates. It's not for nothing. It's important to understand what the Awo's name is, because that is kind of like the moral of the story to begin with. So for instance, Akishano means the brave one always gets his way, right? So it talks about bravery. The Awo for Orumila was the straight pathway I take, right? So think about that. We're not, you know, we talked about trust this morning and how important it is to trust. Sometimes, again, when we're indecisive, we need to have human beings. It'd be great to have human beings around us to be like, hey, I'm having challenges with this. Can you help me understand this? Or, you know, reflection is important. At a certain point, when you're still indecisive, it's good to cast Ifa to help you on your way. Orumila did that. And the greatest thing about that, he was prepared. So when he went to Olokun's home, Olokun Sanyade's home, who is the owner of prosperity and fortune and stability, right? He had to present himself to Olokun and did so in a great way. So part of having trust is making sure that if you don't know what you're doing, you're asking people around you, making sure, because we hear this a lot, Baba says this a lot, you know, Ifa is practical. Do your research, do your investigation before you make decisions. Don't just go make decisions all blindly. It's important to do that. And when you do, to trust that decision is going to manifest. Sometimes we do things and saying, when is it going to manifest? When is it going to manifest? When is it? It's been 5-6 years. When is it going to manifest? And the importance of this story is that when Ifa is ready and when you're ready, it'll show itself. So the straight pathway I take, Orumila said, okay, I'm going to just keep trucking, like most of us do on a daily basis throughout our lives. Gets to Olokun's house, and Olokun Sanyade is so impressed. He gives out Ajay. Do we all know who Ajay is? Ajay, the owner of money, right? The owner of money. The importance of this is this, like, Orumila has so many ways in his character to invite those around him to trust him. I know I've learned how to trust Orumila throughout this time. So it's a parallel process. As we're waiting for things to manifest, also, Orumila and Ifa is also creating a way for us to walk the straight path so that we're ready to accept whatever's on the other side. So please be patient, you know. Trust is not something that you get automatically. I hear this a lot in different sides of the United States. I hear on the West Coast, trust is a little bit different than the East Coast trust. So I'm learning how to trust in that sense. Like, I've been out here long enough, let's just put it that way, to understand what that looks like. And the Caribbean has a different type of trust. In the Caribbean, it's a little different. Is your cup is full, and it's always been that way since the beginning of time. When all the slaves got back, it was like, oh, your cup is full. We trust you automatically. You know, Takebe talks about that too. So, you know, part of this is this: trust is earned. Okay, like you don't go about your day saying, "Hey, you must trust me." I don't go around with my children and say, you need to trust. I have to show them that I'm a person of my word. We did this the last time I spoke about. I got perseverance. I'm not going to give up, right? We talked about honor. We talked about self-control, making sure I'm taking this pathway. These are all parts that help one of us, each one of us, trust each other. You know, and there's ways to lose trust. We all know that. The importance is that we trust each other at a point, or get to know each other so transparently that you understand. I don't have to worry. There's no side intention. If there's any intention, hopefully that person tells me what it is, because then you won't trust them. Whatever work you're doing, you file work, school work, your day jobs, your communication on the street, that's very important. Anyway, Orunmila showed that character that I'm talking about to Olokun. And what a beautiful time to show it, on the day that he was to give his daughter Ajay as his wife. So all that fortune became Orunmila's. You know? The idea about this trust as we meet people is to take our time. Don't just jump into something. Get to know them a little bit. Get to know their family situation, you know, or where they come from. Those are very important aspects about this. Why am I saying that? Because of the last portion. And repeat after me. Please, Ifa.
Please, Ifa.
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Please, Ajay.
Please, Ajay.
Come and make my home your humble abode.
Come and make my home your humble abode.
For me, what I learned about that is, if I'm gonna show the same character that Orunmila is showing, the greatest thing about Orunmila that I learned is about character, right? We all should know that by now. Character will get you a long way. You know, being decisive, being kind of like someone who's not transparent, or I heard this word the other day, it's where the panel of the windows are pane and you can't really see through. So you don't want to be that, what's it again?
Opaque.
Opaque. Very smart, yeah. I learned about that word. I was like, dude, I don't want to be that. Someone said this to me, bro, you're a little opaque sometimes. And I said, excuse me? I try to open my life all the way. And I said, well, part of that is, do I trust you enough to show you all my life? There's a two-way road. It's two ways. The idea is not to make this foreign to your life so that Ajay can come to your home. Because if you show that good character like Orunmila did with Olokun, you too can receive all these blessings. And it's real, guys. I don't know how much to say. It's real. I can do all this, but if I leave the building and show poor character, I have nothing.
Right.
And that's the transparency in me to you guys. It's hard work, and you have to be consistent to yourself. You have to have that dedication to yourself. All these things that you need to have for yourself to begin to have eyes on you, to trust you. I'm not saying I deserve it, or I'm saying you must respect me, give me your trust. I'm saying look at me completely and transparently. We all should be doing that. What have I shown you that you cannot trust me? That should be some of the great questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba. Eriwoya.
Ayabo, ayato.
Eriwoya.
Ayabo, ayato.
Eriwoya.
Ayabo, ayato, ayache, ayamu.
So, thank you for that precursor right there. We want to continue talking about trust, and trust is very, very important. So what is trust, first of all? Well, people, you know, we talk, the most common phrase you hear is people say, I can't trust you. I can't trust you, right? I can't trust you. And I don't want to talk today about what you can or can't have in someone else, because that's already moved beyond who?
Yourself.
Yourself. Yeah, yourself. Because that's where the Ifa starts and ends with yourself, y'all. I hate to tell you that. It's about you, because you're not in control of anyone else's destiny. None of us are. And we certainly can't control the people's behaviors. We have to focus on our own behavior. So the common question of, I can't trust you, really, we're going to, hopefully by the end of today's sermon, and then by the end of the class afterwards, be able to ask other questions. But I can't trust you is, it immediately puts you into a weak position. It puts you into a no-win position. because you, she's like, I can't trust the weather. I don't know if it's going to be rainy or sunny today. Of course you can't. You don't know. We don't. No one knows. Okay. So what Ifa says is that trust has a special definition. Okay. Now trust is when you have reliance on a person. If you look in the dictionary, it talks about reliance on their capabilities, reliance on their history. For example, you go to a store, you see that, oh, they've been selling whatever the item is for so long. You have trust, well, they're going to probably sell the same thing to me, it'll be okay. Or you buy a car. Can I trust this car? Can I trust this car seller? Okay, that's related to capabilities. That's good, capabilities. But really the one we're going to talk about today is the way Ifa defines trust as reliance on someone's character. Because in relationships, character is the one that is important. Abilities are important. Somebody may be very, very competent, very capable, but have very poor character. We tend to be more impressed with people's capabilities, right? The bling, the external. We tend to not focus enough on people's character and trusting them. Because if we look deeply at their character, we will know if we should trust them or not. And we will never have to say, I can't trust you. That's never even going to come up, you know? So we'll talk about that today, the link between trust and character, Iwa, okay? And the link between our ability to appreciate or see someone else's character. Now, as Baba had said, if someone's opaque, which means you can't see, it's cloudy, if someone's opaque, then we know that's a warning signal right there. So, there's so many questions about trust. So one, what is trust? We've discussed that. Two, a lot of people say, who can I trust? I can't find anyone I trust. I'm trying to date online. There's no one I can trust, right? Or I go and I try to work at places. I can't trust anyone in my workplace. Here's another one. Oh, my family. You know, with all this paperwork, I just don't know who I can trust anymore. Yeah. Here's another common one. Yeah, I've been burned in various religious houses. I don't trust anyone anymore. I'm doing my own thing now. I've got my orishas, I'm doing my own thing. Yeah, and I go to wherever. I call awos, but I don't trust anyone. See, you see, lack of trust is a major issue. It really informs a lot of what we do. A lot of people, we lock our doors at night. We have to. Why? Because we don't trust people. Some of us even lock our doors when our friends are at home. You know, you make sure your cell phone's on screensavers on lock. It's trust. Yes, trust is an issue. I'm not trying to pretend like it doesn't exist or it's like, oh, I trust her. No, trust is a major issue. It's something we've got to constantly be refining and working on. And it's very healthy to constantly look at trust. Okay? Now, I want to specifically go into trust in the family setting. And I want to talk about children, because you know, children is very important for you to trust your children, and for your children to trust you, and for us to have trust in young people in general, and for young people to have trust in us. We've admitted that our society has moved away from us trusting other people's children. We don't do it, y'all. We're usually somewhat more afraid of other people's children, certainly about when they get to about 13, 14, 15. Right? So there's fear of other people's children. Certainly a lot of children are taught to fear anybody but their parents. They're taught, don't talk to him. Don't go near her. You might get snatched up. You might get kidnapped. You might get molested or abused. See, there's issues of trust going both ways. Those are real issues. What I hope to do today is to kind of build a foundation now where we can start to trust each other a little more. And it's based with our family concept of Ifa. So, but let's go to kids first of all. Ifa says it's essential, you all, to have kids. Please consider to have children. Please consider it. Many people say, I don't know if I should even have kids or not. Ifa, if you're an Ifa, you should have kids. Ifa's telling you that. You don't even have to ask now how and when you have them. That's a different story. With whom you have them. You might have biological. You might adopt. You might do foster. You might marry someone who has kids. You might decide, I'm gonna live at the Boys and Girls Club. I'm gonna be down there every weekend, and I will give 10 hours a weekend. Okay, that's like your parenthood. But everyone should be planning to have children and relating to children. Because if we don't relate to children, this is it. I've got my next 50 years of life, and then I'm out of here, right? Children is our extension into the future. Okay, so we have to consider it that way. I know the society is moving away from that. but children, Ifa says, are the extension to the future. And we help them, and they help us. So, what does Ogunda Iwori say about this? If you ever had any doubt, should I even have kids? Please repeat after me. Ogunda Iwori.
Ogunda Iwori.
Elephants enter the forest in groups.
An elephant enters the forest in groups.
Aroni,
Aroni,
the herbal deity,
The herbal
is
deity
proficient at preparing charms.
is proficient at preparing charms.
This was Castifa for Idendere,
This was Castifa for Idendere,
offspring of the python,
offspring of the python,
who's more powerful, more successful than the cobra.
who's more successful than the cobra.
Offspring of Idendere,
Offspring of
Idendere,
who's the. Let's start over again. Okay, let's begin again, because I want to get it very right. So, Ogunda Iwori, please repeat Ogunda Iwori.
Ogunda Iwori.
Elephants enter the forest in groups.
Elephants enter the forest in groups.
Oroni, the herbal deity,
Aroni, the herbal
is
deity,
very proficient at preparing charms.
was very proficient at preparing charms.
Castifa for Idendere,
Castifa for Idendere,
offspring of the python,
offspring of the
who's
python,
more successful than the pangolin.
who was more successful than the
She
pangolin.
was advised to offer a bow.
She was advised to offer a
She
bow,
complied.
and she complied.
Now,
Now,
it is not proper for an awo not to have a child.
it is not proper for an awo not to have a child.
It is not proper.
It is not proper.
Okay, so what Ifa is saying is like awo is practicing priests and all that, but awo in this stanza also means all Ifa people. Ifa is literally saying there that a home without children, a home without young people, a city without young people, a country without young people. That is not a home, that is not a city, that is not a country. Why? Because it has no future. And if something ain't got no future, why are you messing with it?
Right.
It's a limited duration event. And Ifa is about extending into the future, okay, and always moving forward, and also bringing the past along with us. That's the beauty of what we do. So what Ifa is saying is if you're considering having children or not having children, you should have children. Okay, now when and how we do it and all those are different issues. But the commitment should be to that. That's the Ifa lifestyle. Otherwise, you're wearing the white clothes, you've got the beads, you've got the orishas, you've got the pots, you ordered your kola nuts. You've got everything there, but you've missed the main point of the whole thing. Because what Ifa says is that when I die, may my child inherit my ide. Yeah. We didn't say my ide be thrown in the trash or be sold on eBay as an antique. Okay, so we talk about extension. Into the future, I've seen orishas who've been passed on. I saw an Ogun specifically that would have been passed on for 300 years. This was in Ijebu. I've even seen in Cuba orishas that have been in a family for over 100 years. Now that shows you this continuity. This can't just be it, you all, like us in this life. We want to extend into the future. And not for an ego sense, because we know that as we extend into the future with Ifa, we're getting better. We want to see improvement. Okay, so consider to have children. Now, if you have children, that's a great area to work on trust. It helps to develop family, right? It helps to develop, it puts you into that stage of maturity. How do we develop trust with children? And how do we develop trust in families? Ifa says one of the first things is control your reactions to things. You know, how many families have been broken up? How many temples, how many businesses have been broken up because of explosive character? Overaction. How many? How many people have died because of explosive character? Okay, this is from going back to our favorite Otura Irete from earlier today. We're going to go back to it again, talk about gratitude. Otura Irete also talks about the need to control your character in order to build trust. Okay, please repeat after me. Otura Irete.
Otura Irete.
Impending doom.
Impending doom.
In this vicinity.
In this vicinity.
This was Castifa.
This was Castifa.
For Olukori.
For Olukori.
She was the mother of Agbe.
She was the mother of Agbe.
She was the mother of Aluko.
She was the mother of Aluko.
She was the mother of Odidere.
She was the mother of Odidere.
And she was the mother of the rooster.
And she was the mother of the
The
rooster.
last of them all.
The last of them all.
She was advised to offer a bow.
She was advised to offer a bow.
Thanks. Now, Olukori, you all, she was a mother. She had 4 kids. Agbe, right? You're hearing the Ifa poems. Agbe, Oluko, Odidere. These are 3 words. Agbe is the blue Turako. Oluko is the maroon turaco. Odidere is the gray parrot with the red feathers. So maybe I'll just call them by their regular names. Okay, let's talk about the blue, red, and we can refer to the name. Wait, y'all know what the rooster is Akuko, right?
Yes.
Okay. So these were the 4 children of Olukori. And her thing was she was a very strict mother. Now, I don't know if you ever had a strict mother. But yeah, some of us did, right? Or we've seen people be overly strict, maybe in the workplace or whatever. Olukori was a very strict mother. She made the house was totally clean. She made sure everything was picked up. It was very well ordered. That wasn't the problem. The problem was whenever anything went like kind of off plan, as things will with children once in a while, or people in general, she lost her temper. So people were afraid to mess up in her house. Because if you left any mess, she would scream. If you weren't where she expected you to be on time, she would get upset. And that was how the children grew up in that type of environment. Don't get mom mad. It was the favorite thing they liked to say. Do not get mom mad. Because if you get mom mad, she's going to explode. Okay? So we would call that today an anger management problem, right? It's an anger management. She's like, yeah, in West African cultures, they didn't talk about anger management. But she has an anger management problem. Well, one day, the mother went out. And she left her 4 children. She says, okay, y'all stay here. You can stay in the house and in the yard. Don't go any further. Like, yes, mother. They all stayed there, and she said, don't make a mess. Just stay calm, do it, and I will be back. Well, and the minute she left, of course, they start jumping around the house, you know. Yeah, you know. In our day, that would have been like, the minute they leave, we start using the bed as a trampoline.
Yeah.
Jumping on the bed, right? Or jumping from the bed to the furniture, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. You're pushing the furniture around the house, driving the furniture. That's what was happening with these kids. They were playing and playing and running. And there was a large calabash of palm oil. You know, the old days there was no plastic bottles. Everything was carried in gourds. That was a liquid. The gourds can be very, very big. Yeah, they also have clay pots, all types of things to carry things. Anyway, the palm oil fell and it shattered. And there was palm oil everywhere. Well, when Agbe, the blue turaco, Oluko, red turaco, Odidere, the gray parrot with red tail feathers, and rooster, when they saw that, they all looked at each other and they said, this is not going to be good. When mom gets home, we're all in trouble. We're in major trouble. And they tried to clean it up, but they just decided, you know what? The only reliance we have on our mom is we really only know one thing about her. When she gets home, she's going to be mad. That's our level of trust in her. You see, trust is again ability to see someone's character and to be able to predict it and rely on it. Now, this was a negative sort of experiential trust.
Right.
She's going to be really angry. So, they tried to clean up as much as they could, but you know what they all said? Agwe said, I'm out of here. So Agwe, the bird, he flew away. He went to the forest to live. That's why Agwe lives in the forest to this day. Oluko, the red throat, she flew to the plains, the savannah. That's why she lives there today. Odidere, the gray parrot with red tail feathers, he flew to Iwotan, okay? And the rooster, the youngest of them all, kind of just sat there. Now, rooster did, can a rooster fly? See how interesting he flies, right? So the rooster just stayed there. And rooster stayed, and he was all by himself, scared. Can you imagine you've just done something bad, and you're about to get in trouble? So what do you think rooster did?
He hid.
He hid, yeah. Straight up, he hid. Mother comes home after a few hours, opens the door. She walks in and, she's calmly like, hope everything's fine. She sees this palm oil all over the floor. She says, who did this? Come out. And nobody came out. She began to yell. She says, when you come out, you're all going to get the beating of your life, children. And no one came out. And the rooster was listening, hiding. And he was like, this is not going to make me want to come out anymore, is it? So he hid. The longer she thought it was they. The longer they hid in her mind, the longer they hid, the madder she got. She became more and more angry and angry. After about 20 minutes of screaming and ranting, her fear turned to questioning. And how dare they hide from me this long? They've never hidden this long. And then after another 30 minutes, that questioning and bewilderment turned to concern. They've never hid this long from me. Another 30 minutes, that concern turned to worry. Why are they not responding? Are they going to play a trick on me? Are they... That was the next question. She began to say, are they even here? Well, at a certain point, 30 minutes later, she began to panic. She said, my children, where are you? My children, where are you? Please come out, please come out. That was the first time Rooster ever saw the mother's character of concern. That was the first time. You remember, trust is about judging someone's character. And he said, she's genuinely concerned right now. And that's when the rooster came out from hiding, and he said, my mother. And she said, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Go get the others. I haven't seen the others. Where are they? He said, mother, please repeat after me. Agbe has gone to live in the forest. Oluko has gone to live in the plain. Odidere has gone to live in Iwotan. All followers of Ifa. Please offer Ebo accordingly. Okay, good. So what's the Ebo that she should have offered right there? It's the Ebo of good character. And the children never came back into the house. So she lost 3 out of 4 children in one day. So what Ifa is saying is that if our character is not appropriate, we can lose trust. We can even lose other things. So we must try really hard to work on keeping calm, keeping focused. Showing anger is one of the easiest ways. Speaking stupid words, doing irrational, quick things like that is one of the easiest ways to destroy the environment of trust. We're going to get into a minute of how you build it, but we're talking about how to destroy it first, so then we can go into the positive. So that's one between parents and children. For trust, please control all anger. For employers, employees, please control those strong statements. Okay? When you're driving in traffic, please be careful what you say. Right? Just try to make sure it doesn't come out of your mouth. Okay? No matter how you feel, watch your words. It's very essential. Now, another thing that Ifa says for trust is, I'm going to move a little bit now to husband and wife, okay? Boyfriend and girlfriend type of situation. Ifa says honesty and transparency is another way to build trust. You see, people make the mistake of telling children, they say, don't lie to me. Well, when children are young, they're still trying to figure out what the truth even is.
Right.
You know, and you betrayed me. No, a child is not betraying anyone. It doesn't happen quite, the psychology's not there. They're taking the ideas of adult level and bring it down. I'm not saying kids can't, bend the truth. But there's a way to cultivate that with them that's different than adults. With adults, we fully expect transparency. This is from Otora Amosun, that's Otora on the right, Irosun on the left. Please repeat after me. Agbada. Yes, this was Castifa. For Oromila. When he was going to cultivate the farm. Onikamogun's place. This was also Castifa. For Oshun. Awura Ola. When she would never cultivate millet again. They both eventually offered the Ebo. Okay. So again, you can tell by the poem, this is like a cautionary tale, right? It said, they'll both eventually offered their Ebo, or the other poem said impending doom in this vicinity. That's not looking good, right?
Right.
Because this is a story of betrayal. So wherever there's trust in relationships and there's betrayal, the trust will be lessened or maybe eliminated. So please, let us try not to betray another one. Let's try to focus on our transparency again. In this Ifa, Oshun and Oromila were married. They were happily married as a couple. Well, Oromila got the bright idea. He said, I think, I'm a good Awo, but I want to also go into some farming. It's another way to make some extra money. I'll get some land. I'll hire people to do it. They'll harvest. And he went to Castifa. Otora Amosun came out. Otora Amosun said to Oromila, Baba, don't go into farming. It's not in this Odu, and it's not for you. It's not where your focus needs to be. Orunmila thought about it. He says, what can be the problem though? I don't get it. He said, all I'm doing is there's land, and I'm just gonna hire people, and I'll be at home divining most of the time. She said, I have enough employees and workers, it's gonna work out fine. Well, Orunmila went ahead and did it. Okay, he started this farm. And on the farm, he found a person named Onikamogun who had land. He didn't buy the land, he rented the land. He was growing a plant called millet. You all heard of millet? Yeah, millet's a grain, it's a brown grain. Okay, well, the farm was doing great. And that's why Orunmila said, man, why did they tell me not to grow millet? It's just like, so millet, it looks like corn, it grows up, it has a thinner stalk, and it grows these big seed heads that are full of seed. They harvest those, and those grains, they can grow in wet and dry weather. It's very powerful. Millet is a superfood. It is a superfood. It harvests easily, it feeds everyone, you can cook it to many types of things. Well, Orunmila said, what can go wrong with this? He began to, by the harvest time, to bag it up, and he put it into big bags, his workers did, I should say, and they sold it. And the idea was, Oshun would take it and sell the millet at the market. And he thought, this is going to be great. Oshun's known in the market, people love her, they'll buy it from her. And as you know, in the old days, the source of money was what? What are these for money?
Cowrie.
They used the cowries, yeah. So he said it's going to be 1 million cowries per bag. It was a big bag. So she'll sell them, have people carry it there. Oshun would run the stall and sell it. They started doing it. The operation went on for years. Oshun would sell it, Orunmila would get the profit. But the only problem was Oshun was not selling it for 1 million. What she would do is she'd actually sell it for that amount, but she'd come back to Orunmila and say, I just can't get the price you want, Baba. It's too much. It's too much. The market won't bear it. Too much. Inflation. Right? So she'd sell it for that, but she'd come back to Orunmila and say, I can only make 200 a bag. So she was shortchanging her husband. Yeah. For years, she was shortchanging him. Okay? So every bag she sold, more than 50-60% of the value of what she sold, she pocketed and gave her husband partial.
Wow.
Orunmila was like, well, that's really crazy. I thought, oh, well, I guess just market conditions. She knows better than me. Well, this went on for so long. And like people who make money through illicit means, what's one of the biggest problems with, besides the dishonesty issue, what's one of the biggest problems with making illegal money?
Greed?
You can get caught.
Greed. Before you get caught. Here, there's a real practical
It
question.
really hurts people.
Get a liar.
You have nowhere to keep it. She had to know to do the money. Because anywhere she spends it, what are they going to say?
Where'd you get the
Where'd you get all that money from?
That's
Especially, she was hiding it. She spent it in stupid ways. She buried it.
oh no.
She was doing, it's like people who get too much money, they don't know what to do with it. Because she couldn't come out and just start buying stuff. Where'd you get 600,000 calories from? And her husband would have known. She couldn't buy land because they said, well, who is you? Who is your husband? Orunmila. Whoa. Orunmila, your wife just bought. It became a situation. She mismanaged the wealth greatly because she couldn't openly share it, much less invest it in anything good. Okay. Well, one day Oshun went to the market. This has gone on for years. And the deeper you get into a lie, it gets harder to get out of a lie. Because now it's part of your lifestyle. So this was Oshun's lifestyle, was lying this way. She's there. She's at the market. She had 10 bags in the stall. And a woman came to buy them. And Oshun says, well, you buy all 10. The woman says, I don't have money for all 10. I only have money for 4. Oshun says, no, I want you, because Oshun didn't want to take anything back home. She almost forced the client to take all 10 back. She said, take them. I don't have money. Oshun, okay. Pay what you have now and give me bring the money to the stall another day. The woman's like, oh, thank you, that is so nice. So the woman carried all the bags, had her workers take the bags, okay, and they would take this millet, they ferment it, they make drinks out of it, they make different dishes, different what they call swallows or opele. It's a type of food you eat, and you eat it with stew. So the woman handed home, everything was fine. Oshun went home. She simply, the woman says, how much did you sell of those 10 bags? And Oshun says, I only sold a couple, and here's the money for it. Boom, boom, boom. A couple $100,000, right? Should have been 10 million, actually. Cowards. Well, everything continued like that until one day, the client who bought the millet, her mother fell ill. Not from the millet, just got sick. And the client went to Oromila's house, and the lady went, she says, I need to cast Ifa, my mother is very ill today. Oromila says, of course, come in, I can see how concerned you are. She sits down, and as she sits down, she says, but Oromila, please, before we go into the divination, I bought some millet, and I wanted, your wife gave me, you know, a chance, she extended some credit to me, I want to pay it back. And she said, wait, what? I thought she sold. And the woman starts putting out all these cowrie shells. Oromila counted, because now the cowries are not loose, it's not like a million cowries loose, they're grouped up into bags. He starts counting the cowries. He said, wait a minute, for 10 bags of millet that were sold, based on this, you said you paid 200 per bag? She says, yes. Then why are you paying extra? The lady said, this is what Oshun told me I owed her an addition. And she's not here, I'm giving it to you. And Oromila's like, she's been charging that. Oromila did the math and figured out she'd been underpaying her husband all these years. So he quietly took the cow shells and everything. They did the divination. The lady left. Well, what do you think Oromila did when Oshun got home?
Confess her?
No. Why would you confront anybody? You didn't confront anybody. He just simply let her come in. They had pleasantries. He said, "Oh, Ida, the woman of the bags, 10 bags of millet. Oh, yes. Here, she brought the rest of the money for you. Boom, 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 boom. And he laid it out. Says, there's the rest of your money. And in that moment, Oshun felt so humiliated and embarrassed. She wanted to disappear into the ground. She couldn't though. She betrayed his trust completely. Oromila declared from that day forward, no one who's a devotee of Oshun should ever touch millet in any way again. That's why we don't do it.
Stay away.
Yes, stay away from it. Nobody who gets that Odru or Tori Rosun, or who's a devotee, and because Oromila said to Oshun, you're out of the millet business right now. That's it. But Oromila also realized this is what the Babalawo told me about years ago. I shouldn't even go into the millet business. Okay, so trust is huge. Between husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, between adults, the issues shift more from ones of responsibility to more ones of trust based on what you say, what you do, your words. With children, it's more about teaching them, right? And showing through example. But with older people, we assume they're already grown and they already know how to act. So Oshun shattered Oromila's sense of confidence and trust. And so Oromila did the rational thing. He didn't overreact. He realized his role, his error, because really some of the fault was Oromila's.
Yeah.
Why? Why was it Oromila's
Because
fault?
he was told not to do it.
He should have never been, yeah. So when you put yourself into a vulnerable situation with somebody and then you're upset that they betrayed you or broke your trust, whose fault is that? That's just as much yours as theirs, yeah. That's why I said we can't so easily say, I can't trust you. Everything you do makes you, no. Who else is in it? It's you who's in it as well. It takes two to tango. Perfect. So, let's talk about some of these trust building strategies that will actually help to make sure that the story of Olukori, the mad, the angry mom, or Oshun, that these things don't happen with people. Well, one of the best things we can do to build trust in a family situation, but as well temples, businesses, everywhere, is, we don't think about this. We just come in saying, hey, well, I expect you to be honest. We may not know if that person even knows what honesty is. A lot of people don't know what truthful behavior is. They haven't been raised in it. They don't look at it on their phone. They don't go see movies that deal with that. They don't know. So one of the keys Ifa says is that, first of all, you've got to have shared expectations. Anybody you're with who you want to develop trust with, before you start talking about, you betrayed me or I'll never betray you, what are our expectations? Because look, if you know what expectations are, then you can't be disappointed so easily. For example, When you go to McDonald's, do you expect the person who buys, who sells you a hamburger to give you unending love and devotion?
No.
No, that's not the expectation. That's not the contract. What are they there to do for you?
Give you diabetes. The food, yeah.
They're there to sell you a burger, right? Okay. If you go to your auto mechanic, do you expect when you go to your auto mechanic that he or she, mostly probably he, that he's going to give you an embracing hug?
No.
That's not the expectation. So every interaction we have, in order to reinforce trust, we first have to decide what are our common, and I talk about common, not my like, this is what you owe me, no, common expectations. And so funnily enough, people jump into romantic relationships, they jump into friendships, they join temples, they have business, and no one ever really quite knows what's our core of beliefs? What are we following here? What would be the things that we could, do to make this common shared vision go further or destroy it? So you've got to have a shared vision. So anyone you want to build trust with, okay, what is your shared vision? What are your common expectations? And from there you can hold folks accountable. Do you see why that's hard to do? You can do it only at the most basic level with kids because they're younger. They don't have enough experiences. For children, it's more about explaining to them what the shared vision is. But with adults, we have to really negotiate it. Okay, just the same way countries, like the United States and Canada now, are negotiating a new relationship.
True.
Yeah, and if one side doesn't like the relationship, then it's really, you have not yet arrived.
Yeah.
It's not about imposing your one-sided view.
Right.
It's a shared view, a shared vision. Okay, so that's one. Ifa also says that it's good to express your feelings. Okay, so in psychological terms, we talk about it this way. Share your vulnerability, express your vulnerabilities. Okay, why? Because exposing vulnerabilities doesn't mean they're going to come in there and just take the heart, take the liver, and just walk off with it and you're just going to die. A lot of people say, I can't share my stuff with anybody. I don't trust anybody. I have armor. This armor will ensure I never get hurt. Well, you know what? If you have that armor and you never open it up, you're never going to meet the good people either. Some of us have been so damaged and so hurt, we can't share anything with anybody. So share your vulnerabilities, okay? Ifa actually says, you see, offend me and let me talk to you about it. That is the panacea of true friendship. So if you plan to be building trust with somebody, you're going to have to open up, lower the drawbridge and let some people kind of see what's inside you. If you don't ever share your vulnerability, you will not build trust. And so many people think that trust is about, act right, do right. But I'm going to be over here and you never hurt me, but you better be nice to me. You got to share your vulnerabilities. Okay? So that's a second practical tip. A third practical tip, Ifa talks about this in Irosune Tutu Oshibile. It says, apologize. Perform a sober what? Genuflection. Yes, when you mess up, apologize. So genuflection, in Oshibili, we said, Ifa, if we've offended you, I'm sorry, I've touched my head to the ground, meaning that's complete submission to apology. We must apologize. If you want to build trust, learn to apologize. Genuine, legitimate apologies. What is a legitimate apology? Okay, here's an a bad apology. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Whoever hears that, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Sometimes.
I'm sorry that's how I made you feel.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm really actually not sorry, but I'm just saying I'm sorry.
No accountability.
Accountability, yeah. I'm sorry, if that's how you feel right now. Well, that's not a true apology.
Not at all.
On that sentence, I'm sorry, this is how you feel. A true apology in that sense would be, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Period. That's it. It's different.
Accountability.
Accountability. Yeah. I'm sorry that's how you feel. It's not the same as I'm sorry I hurt you.
Yeah, but if you're saying I'm sorry I hurt you, you don't mean it.
Then don't say it. If you don't mean it, just say, you know what, I'm not apologizing now.
Okay.
I'm not in this now. Again, we have no shared agreements.
Right.
There's no vulnerability. There's no forum now. We're not at the same concert. You're at home and I'm driving to, to the Hollywood Bowl right now. We're not in the same area talking about the same thing. You know, we're not communicating. So again, shared values. So if you have an agreement on vulnerability, all the things, let's make sure we can all talk about the same thing. So many people mistakenly apologize and they give with one hand and they just take it back with the other. It really happens all the time. I'm sorry that's how you feel, baby. I'm sorry that's how you interpreted my actions. It's not an apology. It has no ashe whatsoever behind it. It just falls flat. It has zero ashe. So when you do that, what you're saying is, for the harms we've done, because look at the poem, Oshibili. For the harms we've done openly, please forgive us. We didn't say Ifa, for the harms we've done openly, please forgive us if you felt hurt. Yeah. Oh, Batala, please forgive us if you got offended in this case.
If I really did it.
If I really did, and if others really read it, okay, you can be. Do you see how sarcastic it sounds with the Orisha? It sounds that way with people too. We just don't think of it that way. So, if you're going to give an apology, make sure it's unadulterated, it's out there, it's open, and you will be vulnerable. Because when you make an apology, what are you kind of admitting?
That you were wrong.
Yes, you were wrong.
Yeah.
And if you were wrong, then you know you owe something, and that what you're owing, it can really be paid off through the apology and a future change of behavior. But when you say, I'm sorry, that's how you feel, you haven't changed 1 inch. You say, here's this. Taking it back. You didn't grab it fast enough. And that's what causes trust to never be built. That's what stops relationships from growing. That's why people can even have on their wedding rings and have a house and all those things, and there's no trust there. There's no vulnerability. There's no openness. There's no communication. How many relationships, again, have been destroyed by overly strong words? How many relationships have been destroyed by opaque behavior such as Oshun had? And how many relationships have been destroyed by people who give with one hand and take from the other? It's not the Ifa way. Ifa's way is one of openness. We talk about this last week's sermon. Today's sermon is really a continuation of last week. Transparency. We've got to be transparent. We've got to all be. Don't we want Arumila to be transparent with us, or do we want him to lie to us in the divination? Tell us what we want to hear.
Absolutely not.
Why would we want? So we sure as heck cannot lie to him. We shouldn't be lying to each other. Let's be transparent. I know a lot of us feel if we're transparent, they'll get us. We feel that if we're transparent, they will eat my heart. They will eat my lungs and liver. They'll empty out my bank account. They've got my PIN code. People just believe that. Okay, well that means more work needs to be done with you. Yeah, again, you're not going to be transparent at the auto garage. You're not going to go into the market and talk. You need to know where to be transparent about what. But it's assumed the home life is the ultimate place of transparency. If you cannot trust your spouse, you're in the wrong relationship, and you need to fix it. Okay, that's the idea. Now, what is a positive view? Let's go back to kind of family, children. A positive view of building trust is this. It's one where everybody takes responsibility for their role, and they do the very best they can, and they're going to suffer some humiliation from time to time. Because if you are trusting people, they're going to sometimes disappoint you. Okay. Even you might think Ifa will disappoint you once in a while, as Baba said, because it may not turn out the way I want it to turn out within. Give it time. You might have to eat some crow, as they say, for a minute. You might be humiliated for a little while before the good things come. This is from Agunda Meji. Please repeat after me. A stone was thrown.
A stone was thrown.
It hit a tree.
And hit a tree.
And it bounced back to hit the thrower.
And it bounced back to hit the thrower.
This was Castifa.
This was Castifa.
Oni Rese Ile.
For Oni Rese Ile.
And Oni Rese Oko.
And Oni Rese Oko.
They were both advised to offer a bowl for children.
They were both advised to offer a bowl for children.
Only Oni Rese Oko complied.
Only Oni Rese Oko complied.
Okay, thanks. This is a story about two kings. Oni Rese Ile, that means of the house. Oni Rese Oko, that means of the farm. Okay, they were both kings. Oni Rese Ile had a very nice kingdom, had a nice palace. Things were clean, everything was well swept. He had money coming in. Oni Rese Oko was the king of another area that was mostly rural, not very well set up. Things were very dusty, dirty, ragged. It's like kind of when you're driving in certain parts and you're like, wait, that's the city hall? That looks like a mini mall to me. That's their city hall. Like it was that kind of town where you can drive right through it and you'll be not even recognizing. The palace was not much to write home about, as we say. So, Onirese-Ele and Onirese, but they were also related to each other. They were relatives. And the relationship had always been that Onirese-Ele's kingdom was nice, Onirese-Oko's kingdom was not as nice. There's a lot of poverty actually. They both went one day when they were kings in their 20s, mid-20s. They both went to Castile to find out how both kingdoms could take off. And when they did, they received Ogundameji. And Ogundameji said, please, both of you consider to have children. Have children because they will be the extension of you and your kingdom into the future. You'll be able to develop yourself better. Your time, everything will grow. Well, Onirese-Ele said, that's great, but I already have my wealth. You know, that's the same as today people saying, I can't afford to have children. I just can't afford it. I just don't have the money in time. It's too expensive to have kids. Money. Don't they know how expensive it is? Well, Onirese-Ele did his own version of that. He says, you know what? Kids will make it more expensive right now. He said, if I perhaps had more money, right? I might have kids, but I'm good right now. I've got all my helpers, my employees. Onirese-Oko followed the advice and had children. He found a woman, they got married, they had children. But instead of making Onirese-Oko wealthier, guess what it made him?
Broke.
It made him more broke. Because kids are expensive. But they're worth it.
Yeah.
But it's
They're worth it. And Onirese-Oko found how that. So for many years, everything he had, he was given to the kids. So his clothes stayed raggedy year in, year out, year out. And guess as the kids grew up, their clothes were raggedy. It was not a wealthy kingdom. He spent all of his time stressing out over their upbringing, coordinating with his wife, all this. At the same time, Onirese-Ele just he's building farms, he's renting land out, he's getting richer and richer. And every year they'd celebrate their annual festival together. Because remember, these are two kingdoms next to each other. They would celebrate their festivals together. Well, Onirese-Ele would say, he would go and they would get musicians and they would start playing and they'd say, Onirese, he says, where's your wealth? Where's your wealth? And they say, Onirese-Ele would say, one's clothes are one's wealth. So just walk along. One's clothes are one's wealth. And there would be Onirese-Oko and his family, like, you know, like those stickers on the backs of cars that have like mom, dad down to like a little dog at the end.
Yeah.
They were just all that in tattered clothes standing there watching it. And they were getting humiliated every year that way. And people would laugh and say, oh, come on, you guys can come and eat now. Yeah, you guys sit right over there. Okay. Okay. So they would do that. And this was just how it was going for years. But the children did start to grow up. They got older and older. They began to do little tasks. They began to help in the house. They began to do their studies. As they got up into the 13, 14, 15s, as is the case in West Africa, they began to pick a profession. Some of them went and apprenticed in other places. Some worked in the house. Some said, I want to one day be a king myself, you know, or a chief or something like that. So they all began to, in their 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, developed professional aspirations. Father was still poor because there was no money coming in. But they were able at least to help the mother keep the house in order. Keep the farm area in order, okay? When the kids got to be 19 and 20, they began to actually earn money. They began to earn money. Well, they were still having the festivals, and every year at the festival, Onirese-Ele would say to his brother Oko, where is your wealth? Where is your wealth? Clothes are one's wealth. Clothes are one's wealth. One's crown is one's wealth. Yeah, you know, but everybody said, yes, that's right. That's right. Everybody acknowledged it, you know, because that's just the reality at that time, and that's really what we see today, isn't it?
You got a lot of likes.
Yeah, you get a lot of likes. That's right. You got a lot of people, you know. How many people do you see pushing a stroller into the Emmys and the Oscars, right?
That would be dope.
Nobody. Can you imagine that? They don't do that.
That would be awesome.
Forget about that. Yeah, this is me. Because what clothes are one's wealth, supposedly. One's car is one's wealth. Okay. As the years go on, though, you start to notice Onirese-Ele is getting a little more bent over. He can't work quite as much as he used to. His mental faculty is starting to slip a little bit. And he realized some of his employees were stealing from him. Yeah, they're not his kids. They're paid employees. There's no loyalty there.
Right.
You know? And so he began to spend more time worrying about, guarding what he had, as opposed to expanding his business empire. At the same time, Onirese Oko's children are now bringing money into the house. They're buying dad some clothing. They're fixing the house little by little. So you can start to see the balance is changing.
Yes.
Onirese Lay slowly became a worried and haggard man. And it got to a point where he realized these employees, yes, some of them care about me, but an employee is not the same as one's own child. It's just not the same, And he relied on money to pay people. And as the money began to dwindle, guess what began to dwindle also? The people was clothes, they were dwindling as well. Everything began to slowly go down. At the same time, Onirese Oko, he was going up.
Right.
He was coming in better and better clothes every year to the celebrations. Now his kids were getting married and having their own families. He became a grandparent. So now the song changed at the annual Odunifa, the annual festival, because now Onirese Ile, he was nervous to sing his song because he was a little more raggedy, but Eshu wasn't nervous. Eshu had been watching all those years and remembered that original Ebo way back when they cast Ogunji way back. Eshu directed the same drummers who came every year to now flip the lyrics. So now instead of Onirese Ile singing to his brother Oko, they had the drummers go with Onirese Oko and play a song, and they directed the song towards Onirese Ile, who by this time was largely alone, a little bit older, haggard, his clothes were kind of ripped up. It was kind of a sad descent he took. And they said, Onirese Ile, and he looked and said, what is one's wealth? What is one's wealth? And Onirese Ile says, he didn't know what to say, because he had been saying for 20 years, one's clothes. The drummer says, one's children are one's wealth. One's children are one's wealth. All followers of the world, one's children are one's wealth. Now, at that point, he felt completely humiliated. And Onirese Oko said the investment was worth it. Now, what type of relationship did they have to build that trust there? It was a desire to struggle. Remember, I talked about building trust means you will be humiliated. So as you're raising children, as you're cultivating any type of relationship, there will be times when things are not going like you like it. There's no excuse to get angry, though. If you get angry, try to then immediately reset, apologize, and move on. Don't bake that anger into the relationship. Imagine if Onirese Oko had acted like Olukori, the mother of the 4 children. Do you think those children would have been around 20 years later helping him?
No.
They would have flown off. So to build trust, we have to, again, control our anger and invest in positive pro-social behaviors. So one of them is determining what's our long-term plan here? What's our goal? Onirese Oko knew, I want my kingdom to be greater. So he invested in the children that way. So for all of us, if you want to build trust, don't start with what the other person's doing to you. Start with what is your own character like? Do you have shared agreements? Do you have a shared vision, a shared plan? Are you discussing it transparently, openly? Have you apologized? Have you apologized for anyone you've offended? Do you need to go back? And this might also include relatives, right? Last thing, when they apologize to you, when you apologize to them, don't expect an apology back. When you apologize to someone, don't expect them to apologize back. It's not going to be angels and harps and violins and everything. Yeah, kumbaya, and the sky opens up and there's sunlight, and everybody's all like just hugging and crying. You may apologize to them, and guess what? They just look at you like you're a freak.
Right.
It's okay, because you've done your part. You've done your part, and that can be with family. It's better to apologize and get it off your chest. You see, it really helps you. Again, all you can do is take care of your own character. That's how you build trust, because at that point, you trust them, and let's go back to my definition. Trust is about seeing someone's character clearly. And if you apologize, and humbly, honestly, and truthfully, and they refuse to apologize to you, that's okay. Now you know where you will have different shared agreements. You'll have to decide that. So let us try these things to continue to build trust. Okay. I want to talk about more of these things afterwards, and family and trust. We'll keep going. It's a very interesting big topic, I say. Okay, what I want to do is, what we'd like to do is, let's do the Osei. We're going to move this out of the way, and we want to make our contribution. As Ia said, appropriately, we contribute to a temple so it could be strong, so we have a place to go, so we can assist folks in need, whatever it is. Please contribute what you can in the online or basket. Okay, I share. All right. Pass that that way. Pass it on. Okay. And we will also be performing the Osei, feeding Ifa for our temple. And our prayer point today is, of course, building trust. That's what we're trying to do, is to build trust.
Sorry.
Okay, woman, can you? Oh, you want to do something? Oh, no. What, you want to do what? Yeah, come on and help them.
Sit down.
Okay, I'll do that. Then I'll do it.
Okay, I'll give you another one.
She's new to the Mosaic. She's new to it, so.
Well,
In this context, yeah, that's what
this
this
context, she is learning to do simple stuff.
No.
You guys want to go over there next to that and help?
Over here, guys.
Show her all the steps.
Guys, over here.
Go over there.
Over here. Sidio, Manolo,
Alright.
get up, please.
No, it's over there next to that. What's up?
All right, you all. So let's call on Oshay Torah to please put Ashay on all of these. Oh, you thought one?
Oh, no, because we can't have a week.
Ah, okay, I take
That's what I
it.
told
Ah.
her.
Oshay Torah.
Tiny at the feet of Tubu.
Tiny at the feet of Tubu.
The stripe of the comedian is not big enough to make his head here.
Stripe for the community is not big enough to make his head here.
Not big enough to make his head here.
Not big enough to make his head here.
I would have taken it home and thrown my head with it.
I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it.
This is the Ephod declaration to Aruela.
This is God's declaration to Aruela.
When going on spiritual mission to J-Land.
When
We're going on a spiritual mission to Israel.
We call on the locals being seller and payer money.
We call on the locals being seller and payer money.
We call on Aruela and respecting J-Land.
we
We
call
call on Aruela and respecting the Jerusalem.
Osha Aruela is again our war.
Osha Aruela is a good I walk.
Osha Torah.
Osha Torah.
The apple tree it is,
The apple tree is
which when failed to signs of affliction.
stays on the farm to be supposed to.
The holy palm tree
The
holy
whole
palm
palm
tree.
tree.
about 16 palm fronds.
about 16 palm fronds.
I'm a good blacksmith.
I'm a good blacksmith.
I fashion a good hoe.
I fashion a good hoe,
Which beats show among fellow blacksmiths.
Can
which
be
is used
used
to show off among fellow blacksmiths.
This is Ephod declaration to the inhabitants of Ibanah.
These are
This is God's declaration to the inhabitants of Israel.
Those who eat snails to their satisfaction,
Those who eat snails to their satisfaction,
you shall prepare equipment for their children.
use the shells
shall prepare equipment for their children.
Tale Tale.
Tale Tale.
Awok Anisaki.
Awok Anisaki.
Kati Fafa Anisaki.
Kati Fafa Anisaki.
Offspring of Goon worshippers.
Offspring of Lagoon worshippers.
Cannot fashion a tusk.
Who cannot fashion a tusk.
And a blacksmith who does not know how to manufacture beads.
And a blacksmith who does not know how to manufacture beads.
They were the ones who cast Ephah for him in their loaded town.
They were the ones who cast the prophet in the Lord's town.
They do not recognize the value of offering their bow.
They do not recognize the value of offering their bow.
They do not believe in offering their tutu.
They do not believe in offering their tutu.
They were dying and foolish death in droves.
They were dying foolish deaths in droves.
All these matters are enough for serious deliberation.
All these matters are enough for serious deliberation.
This was Ephah's declaration to Okuto
This was Ephah's declarations for the day of Ukuta
under the Aluma Rock.
Under the Aluma Rock.
Broken calabash not easy to carry a bow.
Broken calabash is not easy to carry a bow.
Ephah's declaration to Ted.
This was Ephah's declaration to Ted,
Who would act as Oshra's mother.
who would act as Oshra's mother.
It is the array of wealth that we're looking for,
It is the ray of wealth that we are looking for,
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
It is the array of spouse that we're looking for,
It is the ray of spouse that we are looking for,
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
It is the array of children that we're looking for,
It is the ray of children that we are looking for,
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
It is the array of long life that we're looking for,
It is the ray of long life that we are looking for,
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
It is the benefits of all the array of life that we're looking for,
It is the benefit of all the ray of life that we are looking for,
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
which we have not been able to secure, Ephah.
Moshe Aleruwa,
Moshe Aleruwa,
you're the offspring of Chief Oke Alpha.
you are the offspring of the chief of Okeawa.
Ephah, you have heard Edu.
Ephah, you have heard Edu.
Ephah, you have heard it all.
Ephah, you have heard it all.
Because I Shewele,
Here comes our Chevrolet.
Mother Earth is equally listening.
The Mother Earth is equally listening.
The Awo has now reached the stage.
The Awo has now reached the stage
The Mother Earth is equally listening.
where the Mother Earth is equally listening
And
and accepting the plea of the Awo.
so it seems,
So it seems,
may it be so.
may it be so.
So shall it be.
So shall it be.
Ashe.
Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo ohun tí mo bá màmá ní o, èrúmọlẹ̀ ó gbà, Ifá ó gbà o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi.
Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo ohun tí mo bá máa ní o, ìrúlẹ̀ ó bà, Ifá ó bá o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi.
Let the shade of the Orisha manifest in our mouths. Let the shade of the Orisha manifest in our mouths. Everything that we are saying, our prayers will be accepted by the Illuminate. If I will also accept them, let the shade of the Orisha manifest in our mouths. Gbogbo erete asu, Ifá ògbó olórun, àti ìbá tí a jú, Ifá ògbó olórun, ó ṣe àròwẹ́lẹ̀ ìbá ti gbó.
Gbogbo ìrètí àsú, Ifá ògbó olórun, àti ìbá tí a jú, Ifá ògbó olórun, ó ṣe àrúwẹ̀là Ifá ti gbó.
All the prayers that we've given, you heard in heaven. All the references that we give, you heard in heaven. Thank you for all the things that you've done for us. We have given you praise. We are thankful. We ask for forgiveness. And we ask for the things we need through prayer and song. In return, we ask that you remove the hand of death, sickness, negation, fright, losses, delusion, and contention, and decapacitate all those who send negative energy, spiritually, to us and our loved ones, and return it to the senders. In return, I ask that you bless us. You bless our homes. You bless our spouses or significant others. You bless our children. You bless our vision to see the future. You bless our oid to have peace of mind. You bless our ears to listen to the counseling we've been given and to use that counseling. We ask that you bless our tongue to speak positively and things into manifestation. We ask that you bless our hands to continue to provide us work and fortune and prosperity that we can share with our loved ones. We pray that you bless our legs so that we can continue to walk on our journey to our destiny. We ask that you give us good character. We ask that you also give us good communities and good strategies, Ifa. We also ask that you continue to bless us with transparency and that we continuously build trust in others. Aburua boye boye she.
Bati willow Marie, Bati willow Marie, Bati willow Marie, Bati willow Marie, we are rooted. Bati willow Marie, Bati willow Marie, Bati willow Marie, oh Naifa, Bati willow Marie. Bati willow Marie, and we are rooted. Bati willow Marie, Ashe. And all the prayers we made this morning may it come to pass. Ashe. All right. Odabu, we'll see you all next time, or we'll see you in 5 minutes.
Say bye.
Odabu online, of course. Odabu everyone, and we'll see you in 5 minutes, everyone. Okay.
Okay. Ian, could you tell them the link was sent to them?
Oh, yeah, if you signed up, as a member, you will get the link in the membership room. If you signed up separately, reach out to us.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, these are members.
I
I know, so so just tell the people here.
Okay. And then, and I'll have our after class today, it's a $25 donation, or whatever you can afford. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yes.
And I'll see what,